Hey everyone, back with another tutorial. This one is going to be part of the quick tips series, seeing that people are requesting some shorter videos with some quick tips. So I wanted to talk today about filter cutoffs and how they will benefit you when you're making your track. Essentially, every sound can open and close, and you can do that and get some really cool effects and fill out the space more and more by using what's called a filter cutoff. So a filter cutoff basically essentially is there's a filter, generally speaking, when we run through if we're looking at Spire here as a synth that we want to use. And in this particular case, like generally speaking, we can see that the oscillators are here. They route through the detune and the density and the voices and how wide you want to do it, and then they route into this where it's called the filters, the filter section. So in this section, you can actually open and close the filter, which actually dictates the amount of sound that's going to be let in by the synth. And by opening and closing this, you get some really cool effects. So generally speaking, when we see this kind of build up, I'll play this and you'll see the sound actually building up and opening and actually getting bigger. And you'll actually see how that is the filter cutoff, and how you'll hear this in a lot of your tracks where the sound sounds really cool and plucky when it first starts off, and then as it progresses, it actually opens up more into like this big saw kind of, or kind of big vibe. So let's just play this and we'll see. I want you to follow this this little rising slope here and just see what it does. Okay. So you can see the sound has opened up quite a bit, and I want you to now pay attention to this cutoff knob and see how that opens up over time. You'll see how it's closed there, and as we get to this section, it's more open. And as that happens, you'll see the sound opens up more and more. Yeah, so that is how you make a sound open up. And generally speaking, you do that to add variation to the sound. You do that to create some interest in the sound, because if you don't do things like this, the sounds can remain quite static. As you can imagine, when the melody first comes in, if I've got it all the way open and it has just been static, isn't really moving in that sense. It's another great way to add a little bit of depth and interest to the sound. So I've actually done this with all three layers. So the cool thing is, let me see how this one actually sounds. That sounds very plucky, so you probably don't need to open it too much. Now, the thing is, you want to, when you're setting your filter cutoffs, what you want to do is you want to decide your lowest point and then your highest point. And you want to set those and know where they are, because like, let's take this sound, for example. If I just close this, just open this one. Like from here to here, you can see I'm not opening it all the way. Because I don't want it to open that far. So when you're doing this kind of thing, make sure you're only opening it to the point that it sounds nice. And what I would suggest is, when you're doing your mixing, what I'd like to do is I like to check if the sound sounds good when the cutoff is closed, and if it sounds good when the cutoff is open. So I can use it in the plucky section to build it up, and then I can open it up and still sound nice. And then I'll set my highest point knowing that that's as high as I want it to go. And do that with all of your sounds, because not all of them will go as high as others. You can see this one, if I open it, it's quite a bit higher in terms of how much I wanted it open compared to the other ones. Because if I play this sound, let's play all of the 3 layers open, and you'll see how layering actually works. Because you don't want all of them super open, and I'll get into that in another video. Now you can see with this second sound, if I actually just go to it, you can see the filter cutoff is actually lower, but it sounds quite open. It sounds quite open at that point. And even though this one is open a lot more, it sounds almost the same openness, but it just required a lot more of that filter cutoff so to be opened up. So really, if I just play around with it, yeah, you can see that I've set it there because I feel like it sounds nice. Now, in Ableton, you can obviously you can bring up your automation for this by clicking this and then hitting this configure button and then just hitting the filter cutoff. And what it'll do is it'll bring it up here, and then you'll be able to then automate it and set your automation points. And then once you do that, it will look like this. So I'm sure you guys know how to do automation in Ableton. I don't need to go too far into that. So by doing that, you can create a lot of interest in your leads and get some really nice sounds. And if I play this all together, yeah, you can see how that sound opens up really nicely there. And just the final bit, I have taken the bass notes out when it opens up because they were just taking up too much room. So that's why you're probably hearing it a little bit differently. But if I was to, let's say, copy that over, it doesn't really matter, but I'll have to reset all the automation points. Just quickly do that for you guys. All right, so. As opposed to. Yeah, so you can actually see why I took those out, because it's way too. It sounds way too muddy in that section when you put the bass notes back in. That's a tip for another time. So, hope you guys enjoyed this quick video on the cutoff filters. Use that to good effect. Use it to create interest in your tracks. And, of course, use it to fill out space and open your leads up when they need to be opened. And generally speaking, in the build-up, you have them closed. And as they come in and they drop, they will open up and sound quite nice. So I'm just going to show you how we kind of did that in this track. So in this section, there's going to be no kick and it's going to be introduced, and then here it will kick in. So you'll know why we did it. So just listen to this and you'll see what's happening. And there you have it. All right, guys, I'll leave it there. If you have any comments, definitely pop them below. And if you like this video, please subscribe to the channel. That would be awesome. All right, guys, catch you in the next one. And yeah, happy producing.